Hello, I'm Dr. Roush, and this is the introduction to the History 122 class. This is basically just me telling you a little bit about the class. I'm going to keep making these short little introductory announcement videos for every week as we go forth, and it will have later on in this video, I will give you the password that you need to email to me. I don't have a whole lot to say in this introductory because there's not a whole lot for me to react to because no work has been due. So it's not like I can go back and say something about, oh, people did this on the assignment that was really strong, or this is an area where people need to improve, or anything like that. So this isn't going to be very long. Now, there are a couple things I want to stress. First of all, the summer session actually begins technically on Wednesday. So the first week you only have 2 days of class. And I kept that in mind when I made the assignments and so forth and made the videos and all that, is that it reflects approximately what you would have to do if this class were meeting in person over just 2 days. Next week, because of July 4th, that is if this class would only meet 3 days next week. So I only have an amount of material that would be equal to 3 days of assignments. So I don't want you to get the kind of false impression that the first 2 weeks of this class are typical. The week 3, of course, will have the equivalent of 4 full days of class. The same for week 4 as well. And that will also be the case in week 5 too. So just keep that in mind as you're kind of thinking about how to arrange your summer. This first week of class, you may say, hey, there's not a whole lot for me to do this week. And it's like, well, that is correct because it's only equivalent to 2 days. And that's important because one thing I find, especially with Lander students, is there's a desire to try and do as much as possible, right? You want to make your time count. A lot of you, you want to graduate as quickly as possible so you can go out into the working world. A lot of you are currently working. And sometimes there's this kind of stereotype of students as being procrastinators. And of course, there are people who procrastinate. There's people who just decide to watch a bunch of TV instead of doing their work. But I think for the most part, for Lander students, more often than not, if a student's not keeping up with work, it's not because of procrastinating, it's because they have overcommitted. So you just want to be very careful about that. And this can be kind of difficult, right? Because you may decide that, oh, I'm going to work an extra day this week at my job. And you feel like a responsible person doing that because you're working, you're making money, right? That makes sense. That's a kind of responsible thing to do. But the problem is that can really impact your grade, right? And even though I often feel great sympathy for students who have to work while studying, in the end, I have to assign the grade based on the quality of work that is done, right? So just be careful about overcommitting. Having said that, now I have to point out I am going to take a very, very short vacation this week. Usually I will respond to emails. I usually try to do it within 12 hours, definitely by 24 hours. But I might be a little bit slower on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday morning responding to you. But I will be checking emails. If you have problems, I should be able to address them. If it's been more than 24 hours and you haven't heard from me, I will respond back. Please keep in mind, I usually will not respond to emails sent after 8 p.m. until the next day, right? So if you have a problem at 10 p.m. With something, there's a very good chance I won't be able to actually respond to it until the next morning. So just keep that in mind. So I promised you a password. Your password is History Club, right? Your password is History Club. Lander University has a history club. I'm the advisor. If you're interested in history, I hope you will join it. I think it's a really cool thing to do. But that's the password. So you just send that to me and then note in the subject line that you're for my History 122 class. You do not have to include like an opening or closing to the email that you would normally do. You can just write just literally 2 words in your email, History Club, and then the subject line have History 122. Like I said, I will be checking email though. If you have any questions, do let me know. And I look forward to working with you all this semester.